How's it, everyone? Jacques from Dapper Shaves. We're going to do a honing video. We've got plenty stuff here. We're not going to get to everything because it's impossible. But I'm going to take you through a couple of things, talk about the razors, what my approach to them would be, and then selecting one, doing some work, and then we're going to hone the razor up to shave ready, and that essentially is the video. So, this is a stonemason's chisel. I use this as my anvil. You don't need anything bigger than that. This is a 225 gram ball end hammer, which I've polished, so that's for pinning. I've got a little microscope we're gonna use to inspect the edge and many other things, and I've got two different diamond naguras or diamond plates. We've got some Japanese stones. The customer specifically asked for JNAT edge, so we've got that. I've got a little blower if we're gonna need that. We've got razors, I've got a water spray bottle, and I've got a soapy solution, and I'm ready to go. Right, so let's just move some of this stuff away so that I can just at least have an area to work. So some of the razors the customer sent, so a Heljestrand, a Bismarck, and this is Taylor's Eyewitness. So let's quickly have a look at them. The box on this one, very nice, so that's quite cool. The razor at first glance also looks very good. Nothing blatantly wrong with that. The scales doesn't seem to be scratched, so this one would be a easy hone up and clean up and send back to the customer, so I'm not really going to worry too much about this. What we will do is we will pin this razor, so maybe let me quickly show you that before we get into the other two. So first of all is you need to have a look and see how the razor sits in the scales. Now this is very narrow, maybe you'll see it. So this one's centering quite nice. So it's just a matter of tapping both sides equally, see where you end up and where it stiffens up. From here on, the blade's actually quite stiff, so it's just this last bit of movement that's going to need a bit, so let's quickly do that. So, yeah. When I pin, I put my finger on top of the flat side, so I know where it is, and also when I've got the heating mechanism, this becomes a stop for me. So this helps me control pressure and so forth. So the important thing is you're maybe not going to see me, but yeah, I'm here at a level where I need to be to see what's happening. And then I use my two fingers as a guide to exactly guide the hammer. So if I miss the pin, I hit my fingers. For me, it's just a little reference thing to know where I'm at, where I'm doing, and a sensation of the pressure I'm using. So there we go. Immediately, this is now safe, usable. It opens up nicely, and so it's also setting the way it should, nice, perfectly. So that's how I pin the razors. Really nothing tricky. So I'm going to put this one away. The next one is a Bismarck. I would guess from the 30s, before World War II, I would guess. There's a date on, but I can't really figure out what's on there. It's more than a month and a year, and then it more looks like initials. So in any case, the box for its age, very nice condition. It's not coming apart like this one. The razor also in a very good condition. You would see there's maybe a bit of remnants of pitting typically on the tang where the jimping is. That's normal for razors of this age, but generally quite clean. And the scales also looking nice. Scratching, scratch marks here, so you can use 0000 steel wool. But I think this is a razor I think maybe we're going to work on. Or maybe the Heljestrand. I'm still making up my mind. This one also needs spinning. Same as with the other razor, so let's just put this one here. And then a razor I think that's going to require a lot more work is this Tyler Eyewitness. This is the hollow grind. It had some, you'll see little divots, pit marks from rust. So this is an old razor. It also is horn, the scales, and you would see the typical chew marks from beetles, I think. So this is going to be a separate project to see. I've got some horn scales. We can get some, if I sanded down some powder from, mix it with the epoxy, put it back in, sand it up. So one I haven't done in some time. It also sets quite nice. Now this one's actually a bit more off to the side. So as an example, if you want the blade to come towards me this way, because it's close to this side, you need to pin this side, and then it will bring this center like that. That's how pinning works. Alright, so that's something you need to pay attention to, because if you've pinned it and it's already quite stiff, but it's sitting like this as an example, right at the edge, you know, from here on it just becomes tougher and tougher, plus now you're putting unnecessary pressure on the scales and the pins. So this one definitely a separate project. The Bismarck also is going to require pinning, so let's maybe put that away, and then we hone up the Heljestrand. They are renowned to be quite a hard steel. I know from experience that they take more effort, similar to the Japanese steels, to hone them up. So let's take this puppy out, put all of this tools away. So for this we're going to use a loop and the Japanese stones and the razor. So sorry, I now need to, this stone actually likes hydration. So before we start, the very first thing you need to do before you start is understand what you're dealing with, which I haven't done yet. There are lots of chips and deformation of the edge, particularly towards the heel. And then obviously some some rust and some little pits close to the edge, but that shouldn't be a problem. So we're going to do the long route. I'm going to not use this stone because this stone, coming to think of it, it's going to take at least 5 minutes to hydrate. So what I'll do is I'll put it here to the side. I'll hydrate it now, but at least start working on the other stone. So the stone I'm hydrating here on the side is essentially the equivalent of a I would say heaven and sky type of coarseness and performance. The stone slurries very easily, is on the softer side. This is a beautiful sweeter. It's a sunashi, so that means it hasn't got su or the typical nests or holes. Su means nests, little holes you get in the stone, and those little nests actually form when during formation of the stone. During that hot liquid phases, these little gas pockets that need to escape, and that's where you get the little holes from. Some of the stones, those little pockets contain particles that's not conducive for razor edges. Some of them, not all of them, but in any case, so that's just a little bit of background. This stone I have lapped. We're going to start with a botan, Ken Asano stamped botan. This comes from Sakamoto-san. He's by sight. So once again, quite a soft stone. The base stone, the sweeter, is quite hard. So the bulk of the Nagura particles on the stone face currently is going to be botan. Having said this, this is a very white stone, and there seems to be quite a quite more of an orangey tint to the slurry than just white. So there's definitely some of the sweeter particles in this mix, and this sweeter in particular cuts very, very quick. So we'll see how it goes on Heljestrand steel. When you own, with this razor, I don't think it is yet. It's still going to be a problem. If you bring the razor onto the hone there and you hone, you're actually wearing the high point on the shoulder. And that happens on both sides. On this razor, it's not such a big problem, but on other razors, they are. That is a problem. So I keep my thumb this side, so if I put it here, the razor can't go deeper where it is, plus my stone has got a chamfer on the side, so I know exactly where I'm cutting. And when I come back, it's normally this finger that's riding behind the stone like such, and I can see where I'm cutting. So the edge biased pressure I'm using, and what I mean by edge biased pressure, if I put the razor like that flat, there's no bias. So if I take these two fingers and I pinch it like this, and I slightly torque the razor forward so that the edge, for lack of a better word, is digging into the stone. That is what I mean by edge bias pressure. And what I'm doing here is that edge bias pressure I'm creating with my fingers and the way I'm torquing the blade on the razor is around 200, 250 grams, maybe more. So how do you know that? You put the stone on a scale that can measure that, and you put the razor on there and you do that, and it will obviously go up and down, but once you get a feel for it, you can get a quick feel of where that 300 or 400 or 500 grams of pressure is. The other more important thing is it all depends on the grind of the razor and how stiff it is. So this Heljestrand are actually quite stiff, and you'll see this one's got very little flex, so you can use a lot more biased pressure if you need to. So guys, this is a technique I use on natural stones. It's something that can work for synthetic stones. Just be mindful, a synthetic stone cut a lot quicker than a natural stone, as an example, this one. So there is a trace of swarf in the mix. I'm not sure if it's going to be visible in the camera, but it really doesn't matter. You'll just have to trust me if you can't see it. And moreover, that roughness, because of the little chips and the deflection in the razor. This one was actually quite clean, but it still had little chips in. That chip has got a high point and a low point and a valley, and so essentially when you grind it on a stone that is hard and gives you proper feedback, you will feel that those deformations in the razor's edge, and as you hone, you will feel those things start disappearing. So at this point in time, and that's why I'm mentioning it, I'm getting quite a good sensation. I don't think we're going to be done, but I think we've made quite good progress. So what I want to do is clean this. Just keep hydrating the stone. So as an example, on the side I keep putting water on here, but you'll see it just keep sucking it up. Yeah, still too fine, very little chips, but I'm actually quite surprised by the progress we've made. As I say, I don't think the edge really required everything. And so in that regard, when you get a razor like that, it is still critically important that you reset the entire bevel. Make sure that entire bevel is properly cut, clean, and has got the striations of the stone you are using to achieve that cut. I hope that made sense. So let's just give it a quick couple more strokes, still slightly edge biased pressure. Make sure I get the same sensation and feel across the entire edge on both sides, heel to toe. And then when you think you've got the bevel set or sorted, then you must back off the pressure and also the speed. And now you will get a lot better feedback. When you've got a lot of grinding going on, you get feedback, but not as lot when you take off the pressure. And so that will help you confirm where you're at, and then you adapt or target the areas you need to. I've learned this over time using a loop. And if you know the stone and how it's behaving, then you can actually hone without the loop. So as simple as that. You will get a lot more consistent results using a loop and inspecting your work. So I'm not saying there's no value in a loop. What I'm saying is once you've found a couple of hundred razors, you really start feeling how they're behaving. So thank you. There's a lot more South African interest in razors. A lot more customers finding razors. These were found in antique stores in Cape Town, I think. And so as an example, this customer wanted to explore straight razor wet shaving. I sold him a Bismarck, I think. Or he purchased one, I can't remember. Any case, he's been using that forever, really happy. And then him and the missus found some razors. And, he's got more razors he's putting under maintenance with me. So maybe on that, I know there's some of you that really want to be the most expensive owners out there. I don't know why. I'm an educator. I want the guys to enjoy it, so let me give you some insight into my owning services. I think maybe Saez has adopted something similar after I've given them that advice, and that is, guys, a straight razor shaver, a guy that shaves with a straight razor will always be a straight razor shaver, and moreover, they all want antique razors or new ones and grow a collection over time. It's just how it works. So for me, I have got a very small increase, less than 30% on my base fee on a razor. And if you elect that, then your razor goes on to honing maintenance for 18 months, which means you ding it in the sink and it needs re-honing, you send it to me. All right, I don't charge you, and you arrange the shipping back. So you arrange the shipping, you send the razor to me, and I own it for you, free. Whatever edge you want on it with the equipment available to me. So that's how I do a maintenance service. And then moreover, specifically those guys with a lot more razors, I actually reduce the price even further. Because it is folk that is going to come back. And moreover, I actually encourage the guys, and that's why I put out these videos, is so that you become self-sufficient in not having the need to send your razors to me or anybody else to own. You want to have a couple of stones capable of doing the job for you. And that's why I use the Arkansas stones, 1 or 2, and you can do a razor start to finish, or a base Japanese stones with 3 Naguras. In fact, many of you on this channel has actually honed their own razors by watching my videos. And that is exactly the idea of this channel. I want people to become self-sufficient. This is not a job, really. If you want to try and make this income, good luck. I have got a job that actually pays the bills. This is a passion thing. So enough ranting about that, just a bit of background why I do that and how I structure my services for those of you that is interested. And then I've got a bit more leather left for my straps with a very famous dapper suede side. So for those of you that's interested, just reach out in South Africa to moi. So once again, this is just cleaning up the striations from the previous stones, and again, Not a lot of effort required. I'm getting a good sensation even when I back down. And so I think we're going to move on and finish up this razor. I think we're nearly there. This is a soapy mix because that's got a tendency of help taking up particles. I want to give the razor a good rinse. And I want to just give this paw also a good rinse. A question I get a lot is about the gloves. Jock, why do you wear gloves? So mainly because the stones tend to dry out my skin. Moreover, I've got a good friend, his brother is in the media industry, and I take advice seriously. And he said, Jock, gloves and a watch really doesn't matter. That's something that always displays well. Secondly, besides that it's drying out my skin and it's visually more attractive, sometimes my hands has got cuts and marks on, and that visually doesn't look great always. So for me, well lit video, clear audio, and a story that is fit for what you're trying to achieve with the video is what you need to do. So this is the Mohiro, and you'll see this is a striped one, whereas the other stones are white. And then I'm going to finish with a coma, which is also a striped coma, very nice finishers. And then we'll give it a little palm strop, and I'm quite sure this razor should treat drop like a machine gun. If not, it's just gonna require a good leather stropping. Why do I say that? Well, first of all, is a hanging ear test in the first place, or tree topping, or cutting tomatoes, or whatever, isn't ever a guarantee about how that razor is, just how it's going to perform. Those are all just indicators if you are at the right, if the edge is performing to the stage you're at. You're expecting that test. So if it's a tomato test or thumbnail or whatever, or taking hairs from your skin, which I do, that is to check to see if the bevel is properly set. And then the hanging hair test and tree topping test is more to see if you've got it in the ballpark to potentially shave with. But once again, that's not going to tell you if it's going to be smooth, if it's actually going to shave properly. There are very thin edge going towards the toe, but a very good one. I'm quite sure that will work nicely. So up next, coma. Also, once again, this is not going to take a lot. This coma is harder for me than the stone. This is a very hard coma. And so when you do that, be gentle with the way you create slurry. If you press too much, you can scratch the stone. And this sweeter, especially on the edges, if you've got a lot of pressure at a slight angle, likes to take off a little flake of the base stone, a large piece of flake. And that is definitely not good. Once again, the sponsor actually of this video, other than me entertaining you guys and providing content, is Lazarus. He's an honorary memory on this channel. It's actually, this whetstone is his sweeter, which he's sent to this channel to use, test, provide him the feedback, and then use it for as long as I need to. I will return this at some point in time, and then you guys might see maybe another stone. I don't know. These my own stones, my own Iwatani. I haven't used a lot really, so still got that. And Lazarus Nakayama is also still here. So we've got enough different types of stones, base stones, to do more honing videos, and the plan is to do a bit more. And that is purely because of the interest in South Africa. I've now added to the slurry a little bit of soapy water. It really changes the sensation, the texture, and the surface tension in the slurry a lot, and how it interacts with the edge and the stone. That is something I've been testing for quite a long time, and this for me is a must as finishing. Even if you're using synthetic stones. Oh man, this is beautiful. So what I want to do is just rinse this, the razor. Now water is nearly finished. I just want to put a splash of soap on here. And then I finish in hand with a stone in my hand, and then very light strokes. Listening and feeling if this is what I'm expecting, and that sure is the case. So okay, so let's quickly do a little palm strop, see if it will tree top, and then if I get chance, as I say guys, I don't get time for all of these videos all of the time. So when I do make them, appreciate them. So as an example, my nail here has got a dry bit. It doesn't visually look nice. I don't mind, but again, it's all about the presentation. So let's quickly give this a strap on a full grain human hide. This has been cured for the last 52 years, only with natural processes, high quality, ultra rare, and really does a kick-ass job. Okay, so just a couple of straps here. Heljestrand, as I said, it's a whole lot harder tempered steel, so not just more time on the stone, but also more time on the straps, really to get the best results. And then, as I say that, there's a plain overhead. I just want that to go away. I'm quite sure you guys can see, and here, how it's just taking these hairs easily. So once again, from experience, I know this is going to be a great shave, but the eating of the pudding will tell us how it will behave, and that's going to be the shave test. Maybe you guys see it If not, I'm quite sure the customer is going to be happy with the results. Right, so see you guys on a video about something around wet shaving in the next, hopefully, couple of weeks. Ta-ta. Oh, by the way, thank you for all the subscribers. I really appreciate you guys.